Look at that, lad. Well, that's what I call craftsmanship. What does the inscription mean? Damned if I know. Doesn't look like Czech to me. Latin, maybe?
Kingdom Come Deliverance is a game that I missed in its heyday despite it receiving positive critical reception. I tend to love the open world adventure games, so when PlayOn announced that it was coming to Switch, part of me was skeptical about how it would work, and the other part of me was excited at the prospect of a game of this magnitude coming to the Switch. After tracking down the only copy available within 100 kilometers of me, I made the trek to pick it up and sink my teeth into it. What's it like? Make sure you're well rested, get your sword, and mount up as we review Kingdom Come Deliverance for Nintendo Switch. This is the part where I usually ask you to like and subscribe, but if I may bring something more important to your attention for 15 seconds, this month is National Myeloma Month. Now, myeloma is a blood cancer of the plasma cells that affects over 22,000 Australians, and 50 people are diagnosed each week. There's still no cure, and treatments required to keep it under control have a huge impact on families. I'm not asking for money, nor am I asking you to give money to someone else, but I just want to do my part to spread awareness, since my father, who's my best mate and my hero, has been battling terminal myeloma for the past few years. To find out more about this insidious disease, check out myeloma.org. I love you, Dad. Developed by Warhorse Studios and ported by Saber Interactive, Kingdom Come Deliverance tells the story of Henry, a young man whose life is torn apart by war in the Kingdom of Bohemia in the 1400s. One day, your peaceful village is attacked and you manage to barely escape with your life, frantically running away in an edge-of-your-seat, heart-pounding set piece that does an amazing job of setting the tone for the rest of the game. There are some heavy themes, explicit language, and acts of violence against animals portrayed in this game that may be upsetting to some, and I'm going to avoid delving into those themes in this review. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a slow burn, and your first 5 or 6 hours are actually spent building on the story, before giving you the open world freedom you crave while initially loading in. I'm a fairly impatient gamer at times, and I actually wasn't frustrated at all this slow burn as the narrative is expertly written. Henry is naive, he can't read, and doesn't really know how to act around noblemen, which leads to some conflict in the early game. These minor clashes are slowly resolved as camaraderie and friendships are built, much like the trust in people you have due to the superb writing. There were particular characters that I absolutely detested initially, but as the game went on in those opening hours, friendship and banter built, warming me to them. It's all very well done. What I love about the narrative is the way it's pushed forward as you, the player, and Henry, the main character, really don't know much starting out, and the player and character development work hand in hand to create a unique game. Initially, you're unable to block or parry or even dodge because you haven't been shown how. And when going up against soldiers and bandits, it's not clear how out of your depth or lucky you were to survive until you undertake training from these professionals. This stumbling through the prologue builds character and makes you appreciate things more as the game progresses forward. This lack of knowledge becomes rather evident when facing trained soldiers. At an early stage in the game, you can clumsily cut down a bandit or two, but then you are faced with stumbling upon 2 enemy soldiers making camp. I initially tried facing them in combat, to which I was quickly and effortlessly cut down, forcing me to rethink my strategy. I waited quietly the second time until the more armoured soldier sat down, lowering his weapon and his guard before charging him, slashing wildly and viciously hacking, not giving him a chance to stand up at all. This approach left me facing only one lesser armed soldier, which I still had trouble dispatching. And this first real taste of combat was exciting, and it felt rewarding, and I'd somehow scraped through using just a little bit of strategy and a whole lot of luck. Kingdom Come Deliverance is full of these savage and heart-pounding moments, as death can just be a hit away. But that also works on enemies as well, which you can fall to a lucky arrow or a wild swing just as much as they can to an expert swordsman or marksman. Arrows can also instantly kill or gravely wound enemies, provided you can loose an arrow or two before drawing your sword, evening up the odds in combat. Later on, you will learn combos to help you defeat opponents, and it's very rewarding as you slowly build up your skills, much like how Skyrim levels skill trees, except in Kingdom Come Deliverance it maintains a very decent difficulty versus skill curve that kept me on alert for a lot of my time in the game. It's not just the combat that levels the more you play, but other things like speechcraft, herbalism, and other skills that will allow you to shape Henry into the character that you want him to be. Speech plays a huge part in Kingdom Come Deliverance, as getting people to trust you by empathizing, threatening, or asserting your authority could uncover new ways to accomplish tasks. People will react to how you are dressed, and being donned in a guard's outfit will help you with your authority speech checks, while being dirty will dip your charisma points. Sleep and hunger also play into the game, as a tired Henry may not be able to think the best he can, and a hungry Henry will not be able to fight as long due to limited stamina. Wearing stolen goods or clothes above your station will also make you more conspicuous, and picking up loot from fallen soldiers may prove unwieldy due to your lack of strength, agility, or prowess with that particular weapon. There's a lot of little mechanics at play that add up to an amazing experience. Kingdom Come Deliverance could almost be looked at as a simulator due to the depths of these mechanics. But thankfully it doesn't weigh you down with tutorials and walls of text. Instead, it allows you to learn things much like Henry does, by making mistakes here and there. Graphically, the game has compromises, which is to be expected. Textures are lower quality, the environments may not have as much foliage, and there's a lower resolution and lower mesh objects. Admittedly, it didn't really bother me too much, as I was so immersed in the game, as it does such an incredible job of world building. There are frame rate issues that tend to rear their head in combat, and sometimes while galloping about towns and in some in-game cutscenes. Yet again, I was largely unbothered by these, as personally the game had me gripped with the mechanics in the narrative. That being said, the Switch version of Kingdom Come Deliverance isn't the best way to experience this game, but it's still an enjoyable one nonetheless. The musical score does a fantastic job of setting the scene whether you're skulking around a forest hunting game or fighting bandits, and the environment and ambient sound production is a stellar quality that helps build that world around you. Oddly enough, speech does appear to be washed out and lower quality for some reason. It's not terrible, but it does seem to be a lower bitrate than the rest of the audio, which is a shame as the voice acting is well done and breathes life into the ensemble of characters. These characters are also the backbone of the game, and you will warm to some and love them, and hate others with a vengeance. This package comes in at $80 Australian, which may be high considering the game's cheaper on other platforms, but the Switch version does come with all the DLC in the package, and it effortlessly weaves into your game right from the get-go. These DLC packs are not what one would expect and delve into the backstories of certain characters who may be chasing love, recalling traumatic events, and even giving you a chance to partake in rebuilding a town as the appointed bailiff. There are also a few treasure hunting quests as well that give you some unique and powerful armor, provided you can open those chests. To be honest with you, I thought Kingdom Come Deliverance on Switch would be a bit of a disaster, and I was pleasantly surprised by not only how it looks and runs on Switch, but also the incredible gameplay it has due to its visceral and ferocious combat, well-implemented mechanics, and exceptional writing. If you enjoy open-world adventures and are looking to play one that's seated in reality instead of high fantasy, then look no further. It may not look as flash, and there may be some performance issues, but Kingdom Come Deliverance on Switch is a fantastic game that's sure to be enjoyed by knights and maidens alike who enjoy a great story and even better action. So, what's it like? Kingdom Come Deliverance is like Skyrim, minus the dragons and magic. I award it an 80 out of 100. Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. The best way you can support me is to like and subscribe and continue watching my content if you enjoy it. But if you do want to go that bit extra, you can buy me a coffee or join our Patreon, which shows you behind the scenes of this channel. Thanks again.